Hi BookTube! It's Missy and welcome to Vlogmas Day 23! I can't believe it's almost Christmas. Not that we did anything special. We don't have a tree this year because my husband works all day long and I can't put a tree on my car or bring it upstairs, and we were just too busy. So no tree this year, but my family has trees, and so we're not going to be here for Christmas. We're going to my husband's mother's house, and that'll be okay. What else? I'm making Christmas cookies tomorrow with my mom, which will be super fun and exciting. And this entire weekend, when I was supposed to be doing any kind of Vlogmas, I was reading this book, The Night Film by Marisha Pessl. Now, I had two books on my book-tube-a-thon Christmas edition readathon, and I didn't get to the other one because this one is so absorbing. This is a 602-page book, a mystery uber-turner. Like, let me start from the beginning. I am so excited to give you guys this review. I wanted to do it last night. Like, immediately after I got the last page read, I wanted to flip on the camera and start filming. But it was 11 and my husband's like, I'm going to bed. So I decided I would wait a little bit. Let's start off with the book itself. The book is extremely heavy. Like, very, very heavy for a hardback, and I couldn't understand why when I first got it. And the pages, I mean, obviously you can't see them, but it's like magazine paper. It's super smooth and shiny and glossy, and because the paper is so thick, I'm pretty sure that's what causes the pages and the book to be so heavy. Not only are the pages awesome and glossy, but this is like an interactive book, and I've never read a book that had that element in it, so you can actually like look this stuff up. There's not a huge amount, but Marisha does have it at the end, and I'll show you really quickly. It says notes about the interactive elements of Night Film. So all of the pictures that are inside the books have this little circle or symbol on it, and if you download the app and, you know, put your camera, your phone next to the symbol on any of the images, there might be an extra link or video that you can watch that goes along with the pictures. When I got this book for Christmas last year, I didn't know that there was pictures inside. Like, I knew that there was some kind of interacting in it, but I thought it was more or less just like notes or statements or anything like that, because I knew it was a mystery novel. But it is so well done. It's so well done. This is just an example. This is a, you know, a made-up Times website. It has 1 out of 18 images, and so you keep going and you get to like read all the information underneath each image. It's just amazing. And on this side, you can see that whatever the story was, Cordova's death, people are leaving like comments, and I mean it makes this book dated to our modern times. So if I were to read this book 30 years from now, or if a person my age were to pick this book up 30 years from now, they would know that, oh, this was, you know, the 21st century, because there is web links and it talks about Facebook and it has, you know, comments and likes and all those kinds of things in here. The pictures were amazing. The story was amazing. So that's the book part. Now let's talk about the characters. There are just a handful. There's not very many. There is Scott McGrath, and he is an investigative journalist. He's the one that goes into the really scary, dark areas to get his story. He's not scared to go and do that. And he actually got sent to jail at one point because of his investigative reporting. So he's seen it all. He's even written books about it, which makes him credited. But the thing about Scott McGrath is he has an out for Cordova, which is the villain of this book. Cordova is an underground cult horror director. He had a bunch of films that came out, you know, in the theaters, and people were going to see it, and he even won like an award for it. But it started to get more and more gritty, and he wasn't getting the approval from the main, and so he had to go underground and start doing all these movies himself, like bootleg copies that are being sold for thousands of dollars. They're not being mass marketed, so it's illegal to even own them, because it's kind of like snuff. It's like a snuff film, but not, because there's no like sexual killing, but they're kind of like snuff films because they're illegal. You can't get them. There is a whole like Mother Against These Videos campaign that if you find one of these movies, you are to burn it immediately. And the cult following is like so massive. People are housing like movie film parties in the catacombs of France because it has to be dark and scary, and these movies are just brilliant to everyone because they think Cordova is a genius. Now, I don't know how much I can talk about this book because I don't want to spoil it, but it's just, oh, it's so good. Okay, so that's Scott, the journalist. I did talk a little bit about Cordova, and now I'm going to talk about his daughter, because those are like the main three characters of the book. Ashley Cordova is 24, and she commits suicide at the very, very beginning of the book. Everybody wants to know why she committed suicide, or if it was even a suicide, and if someone like maybe pushed her down this elevator shaft. She's like a piano prodigy. She was super smart. She was mysterious. People thought she was beautiful and engaging, but very quiet and reserved. There was two different sides to Ashley, and Scott is like intrigued about this whole situation. The reason being is 5 years ago, he tried to bring up this entire story on Cordova, saying that there's something weird going on at his place, and he wanted to get to the bottom of the whole mystery around this guy. He thought it would be a great story to tell his audience. And while he was snooping and talking to witnesses about Cordova, he did kind of like a slandering where there was an anonymous caller that told him about these secret night rendezvous. Cordova's team cuts him off immediately, and then like all of the main like Dateline or whoever was having him as like a special guest, like all of his jobs just stopped. And now he's 5 years later, he is nothing. He's not an investigative journalist anymore. Nobody believes him. They all think he's a liar, that his anonymous caller was fabricated, and so nobody wants to trust him or believe him anymore, because if he's going to fabricate this caller, then maybe he's fabricated everything that he's ever done. There's animosity between Cordova and Scott for what happened in the past. So he's thinking, this is my moment of time. I'm going to get to the bottom of Ashley's suicide, find out why she did it, or if she was actually murdered, and find out how it ties into her father. And that's the entire story, but it's so well written that like I got like maybe this far in, and I was already like totally hooked. I didn't want to stop reading. And then I realized, oh my God, I've only read like 150 pages. There was so much information in 150 pages, not info dumps like when you read a fantasy or anything like that, because this is in New York, and if you are a New Yorker, you'll know where all these streets are. They're all real things. But just, it was dense. So much good information. I could see it, imagine it in my mind. It was like I was watching a mystery movie, a psychological thriller, if you will. It was so good. If you guys haven't read this book, you really ought to. It's an adult fiction. I haven't read an adult fiction in a while. Like I said, it's a mystery novel. So the entire book is laid out for you piece by piece like a puzzle. But it's not a normal 500-piece puzzle. It's a puzzle that's got those little pictures in it. And then you put together all those little pictures and then you stand back and you see what the book was about at the very end. This beautiful picture is made up of all these little tiny images. This book was just so genius. It was so good. And there's a part in this book where it says, once you have seen a Cordova film or once you have been actually in the movie, it's like you've experienced something so fully that it changes your life. And that's what happens to Scott in this book. Even though he wasn't in a Cordova film, just researching him and trying to get to the bottom of this mystery, the entire book, it changes him. And he doesn't know if it's going to be for the better or for worse, but he can feel it slowly changing him. And, I mean, the ending was superior. Like, the ending was so good. I didn't expect any of the twists and turns that happened in the story. It was so gradual. It was, you know, painted one color at a time. I mean, as soon as the strokes on the canvas were set, you didn't know what it was, but then there was one more line, and then one more line, and then it slowly evolved into just an excellent, excellent story. And it was slow building and beautiful, and the action wasn't like immense. It was just the perfect mystery novel. I think this is my first mystery novel this year. I haven't read a mystery in forever, and this was just so captivating and so delicious and wonderful. And that's it. I wanted to share it with you guys. I was completely intimidated by this book because of the length. I mean, it doesn't even look that big here, but once you find out that it's 600 pages, you're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to read this, but it was just so good. Yesterday, I read 6 hours straight, and I didn't even realize it. And I bit all my fingernails off. All of them. I was like, no. I was so fearful for everything that was going on, and I'm really upset because I wanted to paint my nails for Christmas, and now they're gone. They're all gone. I bit them off. Check out this book. Definitely check it out. This was the only book, like I said, I read in the readathon, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. I'm glad I started with this one and not the Cat Winters one, because this one was just so good. It was so good. I wasn't distracted once. I didn't get on the computer. The computer was off the entire weekend. All I did was read this book, and it was amazing. So, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this extremely long review. I do apologize. I have my reviews linked down below if you want to check them out on Goodreads, and that's also spoiler free. I don't ever put spoilers in my Goodreads reviews. And maybe I'll make one tomorrow, hopefully. We will see. I don't know when I'm going to start cookie making tomorrow. But I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas if I don't see you. And if you do not celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful week. I will hopefully be back soon with another video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.